The town of Hadley is squeezed between Northampton and Amherst and bordered on the west by the Connecticut River. It was incorporated in 1661. The current population stands at around 5,300.
We're here with Mark, who is the owner of the Essen Cafe.
Essalon.
Essalon.
Yeah,
oh,
Essalon.
I had a lot, forgot that. But I can mess up a name very well.
Yeah.
Can you give me the history of this place?
The history. So we started in 2006 as a coffee roaster and cafe serving breakfast and lunch, and then for several years we did dinner, and we also do catering, and we're a coffee roaster and distributor of coffee related products.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the building, did you build the building or has it been?
The building was here. It was actually an antique store for right before Essalon got here, and before that it was a auto parts store and other various things. It's been here for years, so that it was fully renovated. So the beautiful ceiling was put in for Essalon, the floor, everything.
Wow.
So it was basically gutted and to be what it is today.
And I saw a very impressive mirror. Where did that come from?
Oh, that's a special mirror. Yeah, it was sourced specifically for this place. Yeah,
It was?
An antique store.
Wow.
Yeah, we have a few things like that throughout.
Yes.
We have a very old Chinese apothecary chest that's behind our bar that is used for our tea.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I didn't see that. I've got to
It's
check
really
that
pretty.
out. Yes.
Yeah, there's a few things like that around.
So, what are your hours?
We're open from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily.
So you have breakfast and lunch, is that correct?
Yeah, breakfast. We call it brunch because it's basically brunch every day. So breakfast and lunch every single day, and breakfast goes all until 3 o'clock every day. Yeah.
And what's the most popular?
What's the most? Oh boy, that's a good question. But we're very well known for our salads, sandwiches, and our Benedicts, pancakes, French toast. Yeah, burgers, everything, anything and everything that we have.
Okay, and I know
coffee, of course. Sorry.
Coffee, yes, and you roast your own coffee. You started this, correct?
Yeah, we roast our own coffee. Yep, and we have several hundred wholesale customers.
And it's all over Massachusetts, or?
Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Vermont, New Hampshire.
Wow.
Yep.
Very good. And it is good coffee, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Yes, it is.
That is important.
How many, it's a college town, so you have lots of colleges. So that must keep you pretty busy during the college season, or when folks come, or?
We stay pretty busy in general with the college or without. We have the outdoor seating, which a lot of people come by for, especially obviously during the spring, summer, and fall. And that's pretty much keeps us busy throughout the summer, even when the colleges aren't around. But it does get really busy during May when parents are coming into town, and there's college reunions, graduations, and things like that.
So what do you think's the biggest challenge?
I find the one of the more difficult things over the last few years is balancing the price increases that we're seeing, and trying to maintain our high standards of quality of product. So that's one of the things, is we want to keep our prices affordable for our customers and keep people coming in here and enjoying themselves. And
I can understand.
I think that's difficult. Finding good help is also a challenge, but we've managed to do really well. We have a lot of long-term employees here.
That speaks highly of
We
you.
have a very low turnover rate, so people usually come to work here and they stay here.
Wow. So what do you enjoy the most about it?
You know, I've always had a love for coffee and food since I was a kid. So I was always known in high school and college as the coffee guy, and always asking about lunch at like 8 o'clock in the morning. So it's just like passion for food and coffee. So I think that is the thing that always keeps me going, and creating a quality product for everybody, and making people happy, I guess.
And what have you always been in this type of business, or did you do something else before?
I actually was involved in distribution companies before this.
Okay.
So distributing different products
Okay.
throughout the country.
So
Yeah.
that helped when you started to spread out for your coffee business, I am sure.
Yeah, exactly.
You already had those skills.
And my goal was specifically related to, in the restaurant industry. For me, it was just treating it like a regular business, and, getting good quality ingredients, setting up processes and procedures, and developing a consistent product. And then it works really well.
And would you call yourself a scratch kitchen? Would you,
We do everything from scratch here and at our bakery. We have a bakery in Northampton.
In Northampton?
Yeah, Woodstar Cafe. They've been open for 21 years now.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
that was open first.
Yeah, they bake all of our breads from scratch, bagels, muffins, cookies, anything and everything is from scratch there. Yep.
Wow.
It's very popular in Northampton area. We see anywhere from 400 to 700 customers a day there. And we also have several wholesale customers that we sell to.
What's maybe anything you've got in Northampton seeing expanding or making changes or anything?
I think one of the key elements to both Essalon and Woodstar is maintaining our quality and consistency, our menus, and our focus on local. And like for us, it's like real. We buy all of our eggs from a farm in Amherst. And it's a lot. We buy thousands of eggs a week just at Essalon here. So focusing on that is one of our biggest things, and expanding that is really important to us. I think that's one of our biggest goals in the future is keeping on track with that and not losing focus of what we're all about.
And how many people do you think you serve a day here?
Similar to Woodstar, we're in the 400 to 700
That's amazing.
range. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yep. Even higher on the weekends, 1,000 probably.
Wow. That's a lot of people.
It is a lot of people. that come through here.
That's right.
Where do your coffee beans come from?
Oh yes. We didn't ask that.
All over. We source them from several different countries throughout the world. We have Ethiopian and Kenyan, Colombian, Costa Rican, Mexican, Brazilian, Sumatra. Yeah.
So how do you decide?
We look for quality, consistent beans is one of the most important things. We look at specific farms or co-ops. So we buy organic, fair trade coffee, which is important to us.
Yeah.
And we do have some conventional coffee, but we make sure it's similar standards. Just because it's not fair trade and organic certified doesn't mean it's not coming from a great farm that takes care of their employees and the community around them.
That's so important.
Yeah,
That's great.
exactly.
No, I'm glad to hear that.
Do you have just that one coffee grinder,
Right.
roaster?
We
or
do.
Okay.
That's our one coffee roaster. We roast 45-pound batches, so we roast over 2,000 pounds a week. But we only roast 2 days. So if we ever want to, we are constantly expanding, but we can just add on days. And we actually own the garage/warehouse next door. So so we're able to do everything that we need to with the.
Wow. And do you have someone that just runs that, the roaster? Or
We do. We have department managers for everything, for the kitchen, for catering, for the front of house. We have an outside salesperson, bakery, same thing at the bakery.
Do you have any training in cooking yourself or anything?
Oh, I've been cooking for a long time,
So-
since I was a little kid.
Really?
I used to make popovers when I forget when I started doing that, like 5th or 6th grade.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about a challenge.
Wow.
Oh, it is a challenge because my older brother would it's a very delicate process to make popovers if you made them before, and they collapse easy. So my brother would like come through and stomp in his feet to make them like
Open them. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What kind of bread do they use in that French toast?
We make that bread here. It's it's strawberry bread.
It's called what?
It's a strawberry bread.
It's
just
a strawberry bread.
Yeah, exactly.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's our seasonal.
I have never
French
seen
toast.
I've never seen French toast like that before.
Yeah.
It's got lovely whipped cream on it. It's got blueberries and strawberries on top. Real maple syrup. That's all you get out here, which is nice. You don't even have to ask her, like, of course it's real maple syrup. What do you mean? Because we're in maple country for sure. All right, you ready? Oh my God, this is so good.
Enjoy, Beth.
We are with Bruce Jenks, and he's the owner of Maple Valley Ice Cream,
Yes,
and on and on and on.
there's a bit more.
Yeah, so tell us actually what we have here and
Sure.
then history of your...
Sure. So this farm that we're currently sitting at is Fort River Farm, was the original farm. It's owned by Gordon and Terry Smith. I grew up directly across the road, and we had a barn fire in about 2009. Lost a gambrel barn very similar to the one that you see to your left, my right. In about 2008, we started investigating raw milk sales because a number of people were stopping by and wanting raw milk. None of this was here. But we started selling raw milk, I want to say in 2012. We had a porch out on or a fridge out on our porch. You could pick up your milk anytime. It was on the honor system. We couldn't fill up the fridge enough, so then we started getting a few more cows. We built this original portion of the store in 2016. It was a 20 by 24 square right off the milk room. Because we just didn't have enough storage space for milk out on the porch anymore. So, and then we started offering every local product that we could find. And Maple Valley Ice Cream, which is the part of Maple Valley Creamery that funded all this, was expanding to supermarkets all over New England and into other parts of the country. We probably were in about 3,200 stores pre-COVID. And then during COVID, we were bored because ice cream wasn't an essential item, so we weren't shipping a lot of ice cream with our distributors. So then we built the Hadley Scoop at the Silos building that is a seasonal ice cream scooping mecca.
Okay.
It's a viral, crazy, weird, small, tiny. It's the smallest scoop shop you've ever seen that shovels out probably the most ice cream that you've ever seen. We do a lot of events here. We have live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We have craft fairs. Today is Kite Day. We're building a cross-country course, so there's a 5K on property that people can run, and we're going to do sponsored races for that, along with one of the high schools is going to use it because Hampshire College just closed. There's not too much we've said no to. If you have a crazy idea, bring it here. We will probably say yes.
Wow.
So we've hosted just about every type of event at the farm. All the feed that we have for our cows here is raised here. They're all grass-fed. The field right behind us where the kites are on, we just round baled it and wrapped them last night to get them off the field for kites. It's fun for us. I mean, I'm in my 60s, and I don't know, most days I feel like I'm 15 because we just get to do something new. So that's probably good. So in this barn we raise heifers. This is their bedded pack. They can come in and out of the sun. They can go in the barn if they want. It has fans, which is cool, but the majority of the time our brown Swiss cows prefer to be outside. Very rarely do I catch them in the barn unless it's direct sun. I have one cow that sticks her head in the door when it's raining and the rest of her is out, so it must be, yeah, Nellie. So she must just think that that's the way to do it.
Doesn't want to mess up her hair.
Yeah, there's something about it. So it's just a fun, community-based farm that we encourage people to bring their kids in the barn. We just think it's so important with the number of farms that don't survive on a daily basis. And we are just so happy. The food truck that we have that we run here too is beef that we purchase from a local farm that supports their farm.
So you make like hamburgers and stuff?
Yeah, so in that food truck they make smash burgers and chicken tenders and hot dogs and stuff for the for the families to come out. It's not very expensive. You can eat at this food truck. It's not like going to a carnival or a festival where you can't afford the food on the food truck. You can get a burger here for $7. And it's a good, healthy burger. Nothing's frozen. It just, I don't know. To me, I think that's what should be served at a place that traditionally is trying to support, the community and the agriculture and all the things.
So what's the history of the ice cream? Because you kind of glossed over that.
Before Amazon bought Whole Foods, there used to be a position in each Whole Foods. It was called the forager. This forager's job was to go out and recruit vendors. Because our farm shared a bike path with Whole Foods, Emerald thought our farm should be doing something, my dad's farm. And all we were doing was shipping milk to Relic, which would then get bottled and end up in stores. And she said, would you like to do something with your milk? And I said, well, I would love to do something with the milk. And then we had a brief conversation. She said, well, we're always looking for cheese, we're always looking for ice cream, we're always looking for yogurt. So we sat down one night and decided that the easiest entry into markets would be ice cream. Nobody doesn't like ice cream, we thought, in our tiny little brains. So I ordered a Cuisinart ice cream maker. It was a 1 pint, I'm not kidding, I ordered a 1 pint Cuisinart maker. Yeah, we started making ice cream in this little Cuisinart with the milk from the farm. As luck would have it, the same time I was making this ice cream in this little Cuisinart, my dad across the road won a Green Pastures Award, which is awarded to one farmer in every state in New England. It's presented at Big E. So he was the whatever year Green Pastures Award winner.
Oh, wow.
By having that award, you go to the Big E for a dinner. You sit at the table with the presenting farm from the year before. As luck would have it, I was sitting next to a gentleman named Mark Shaw and his dad, Warren Shaw. The Shaws owned Shaw Dairy Farm in Drake. So as I was sitting there with Mark, young fella, Mark says, what do you guys do at your farm? And I said, we ship milk to Gorelick. He goes, why do you do that? And here we are again. I'm having we were milking 1,000 cows. I'm like, what else do you do with the milk? And I said, why? I said, what do you do? And he goes, well, we make ice cream. I said, can I see that? And he said, sure. So then I explained to him, I said, I just got a Cuisinart. And he's like, a Cuisinart? He's like, do you know what a batch freezer is? And I said, no. He said, well, a batch freezer is a freezer that makes 40 quarts at a time, not a pint, And I said, wow, I'd like to see that, To me, that's, like Disney at this point. So I hop in the car and I drive down the following Wednesday when they make ice cream after this dinner. I watch them make ice cream. They had 2 Emery Thompson batch freezers that sit next to each other, and they produce 40 quarts of ice cream at a time, which they then hand pack. Traditional ice cream. So then I said, fantastic. I said, this doesn't look that hard. And he goes, no. He said, do you want to make ice cream? I said, I'd love to make some ice cream. He said, well, come next Wednesday and bring some containers and we'll make ice cream with you. So that week we went to a store and we bought these white pints and we had a printer and we printed up maple walnut, mint chip, vanilla, and I forgot what the other, chocolate chip, mint chip, and we brought down the containers. It was 500 containers with caps, we put all the labels on. So I bring the box in and Mark says, is that all you're gonna make? And I said, yeah. I said, I want to make 100 pints of each one. And he goes, okay. So 10 minutes later, we have the pints filled because, that's not really a lot. So we freeze them. I go back the next day with my truck and freezer and put I had a freezer at the time running on a generator in the back of my pickup. Like, this is how advanced we were. So I picked up the pints and I went to every store. And I dropped some off at Whole Foods with Emerald and went to Cereals in Northampton. I went to Cushman's in Amherst. I decided that we were going to have ice cream in one store in every town in Western Mass. That was going to be huge. And so we did. And then Emerald Levesque sits down with their group to try it. And we get an email from their tasting people because they have to bring people in to try this stuff. And the comment, this is the best ice cream we've ever had, blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, yeah, sure. Sure. Like, do you say that to every single, local vendor? And so we started making ice cream specifically for Emerald in that Whole Foods. And then there was a Whole Foods in Cambridge that heard about the ice cream and they wanted it. Then there was a Whole Foods in Woburn that wanted it. Then there was a Whole Foods in Rye. So it just sort of grew exponentially by itself. So we did no marketing, we did no sales, we did no effort at all to sell our ice cream. It was the easiest growth from, I would say, any company that I've ever even spoken to.
And at that point, did you have ice cream makers here then?
We were making our ice cream at Shaw Farm.
Oh, you did it there,
Yep.
okay.
So when we got up to about, I think we were about 300 to 400 stores, both Warren and Mark were like, okay, listen, we don't have enough storage room for your ice cream. You're going to have to find somewhere to make your ice cream. So they recommended a couple places to us. We ended up going with an ice cream maker called Royal Ice Cream in Manchester, Connecticut. It's relatively close to us. It's 60 minutes. So we brought all our recipes to them. They were able to match the recipes. We had milk that we were shipping in from Jersey farms because we wanted don't tell my Swiss, but the Jersey cow makes a heavier buttercream, which is what butterfat, which is what we wanted for our ice cream.
Yeah.
Because our ice cream was almost 16. It was 16.85 butterfat when we were making it in pints, and our milk is all sold raw. So we ended up making our own mix with farmers, and then we ended up producing the ice cream at Royal Ice Cream, putting it in pints, and then Jim was kind enough to put it on pallets, put it on trucks. And then it started from there. It just started from there.
Wow.
And like I said, before COVID, we were probably in a little over 3,000 stores. I started being obsessed. Like I would go into a supermarket, to pick something up, and I'd look, and there'd be someone in the ice cream aisle, and I'd watch them. And I'd watch them look at all the things, and I'd want to see which one they took. And when they took ours, I would stop them. I would say, excuse me, can you just tell me why you took, because our pints are boring. Like it's just a yellow pint. 9 times out of 10, the people would say, well, we just really liked it. It looked like butter, And I was like, huh.
Oh.
Yeah, believe me, I knew nothing about labeling because we were doing it on this tiny little printer at home,
Yeah.
And so we ended up going very, very plain. And in the end, again, like things just seem to, they just seem to fall into place.
It seems
for
more
no
natural,
reason.
That way.
Well, that seemed to be the approach for people. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it was seriously luck upon luck. And if it wasn't, for Emerald Levesque coming over and saying, why don't you do something? And for the luck of sitting with the Shaws, this probably never would have gone further than my Cuisinart. You know what I mean?
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it was good ice
What a
cream.
story.
Yes, it was just, and you would never think. And I talked to Steve Harrell when we first started making ice cream. He was in Northampton with a shop. Are you familiar with Harrell's Ice Cream?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So
we went
Steve.
there.
Okay. So Steve used to have Steve's in Cambridge.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Ben and Jerry got their idea for ice cream
From Steve.
from him.
Yeah.
If you ever watch that food show that Ken Burns did, they do an episode on ice cream and essentially give Steve a lot of credit. Originally, Ben and Jerry were going to be cheesemakers until Ben came down and had dinner. At a place called Red Bones, which is a barbecue place, and then next door was Steve's. So the guy kept saying to him, "Don't get too full. We're going to go to Steve's after and get ice cream." And that's where he saw the smush-ins and all the things, and went back and said to Jerry, "That's it. We're going to make ice cream, not cheese." And
Wow.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So what a cool story. Like I
Yeah.
I called Steve Harrell out of the blue and said, I'm a farmer over in Hadley and we're thinking about making ice cream. Could I talk to you about it at some time? Because he was the only guy I knew that was making ice cream.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah. He said, come over. And I said, okay. Well, when do you want? When would you like me to come over? He said, well, come right now. And it's like 3:00 in the afternoon on like a Wednesday. I'm like, right now? He says, yeah. He said, you want to talk about ice cream? Come on over. I went over and I sat with him for like 3 hours and we talked every angle about ice cream and like what we want to do and how we want to do it. He was never threatened by my questions. He helped us design the recipes and how we wanted to do it and the process. He told me about how he adjusted his batch freezer so it came out fluffier, like all the things, all the things that you probably wouldn't have told someone.
Yeah.
He was free to tell. And when people come here and ask us about ice cream, we do the same thing. We're like, listen, the more ice cream, the better. If you want to do ice cream, do ice cream.
That's awesome.
If you have cows and you want to make something, do it.
So you've actually been in farming your whole life then?
Yeah, so my family has the dairy farm across the road. It was called Allard's Farms. When the Smiths originally came to Massachusetts, the farm we're on, they owned 5 square miles in Hadley. My dad's grandfather used to be in where the Quabbin now sits. He was in one of the towns in Quabbin. And when they built the Quabbin, they gave all the farmers 30 days to dismantle their barns or their homes or take all they could and go somewhere. And my stepfather's dad's father was a dairyman, and he had a dairy in Holyoke where they would ladle milk out of cans to the tenements, to the silk workers. They would go out in a horse wagon And they'd ring a bell, and people would come down from the tenements with their bowls or buckets or whatever, and he would ladle the milk into the buckets. And he was the first commercial truck company in the state. He has the very first commercial truck plate when he bought his Model A to truck milk instead of the horse. That plate is actually framed in my dad's house. But so that dairy was purchased from the Smiths. He purchased his acreage, and then this farm was here, so that's why these two farms are back to back. So I grew up diagonally across the street, in a small house, and grew up on Aller's Farms, and my brothers too, and they run a company called Goulet Trucking in South Deerfield, which they just recently sold, but they have probably 300 trucks. So I think it's a family of just hardworking guys who just don't know how to quit.
What's the biggest challenge of running this business?
The biggest challenge for me personally, I think, is time.
So what do you love most about it?
Cows.
Oh!
Yeah, cows, hands down. There's not a time that I drive by somewhere if there's cows that your head isn't snapping around. I'm not really sure why.
Well, it is a great farm here, and you have a lot going on. And thank you for sitting down. And
Oh, it's my pleasure.
the fact we got you to sit down for 15 minutes, I think, is kind of a miracle.
I think most of the staff would say the same. Like, is he still sitting there? Like, what is happening?
Many people told us that since we would be in Hadley during asparagus season, we just had to try the asparagus ice cream at Flavors of Cook Farm. So we complied. Who are we to turn down ice cream?
Believe it or not, I am eating asparagus ice cream. I think there's some nuts.
Almonds.
I don't know if I would know it's asparagus ice cream unless somebody told me.
Okay.
I think it's pretty good.